So there is a plenitude case of corruption everywhere. And there's no social justice. If there is no social justice, then you cannot have the moral basis to say you are fighting corruption unless you get a narrow aspect of simply capturing the grasshoppers that have hopped away from where they were protected. And that's why I said, and you said, you raised the issue, where can this lead to? And that is where my fear is, that we should not miss this opportunity. We have missed a lot of opportunities, such that when people begin to say fighting against corruption, we take it as a cliche. The only thing going for this president, which he must not liquidate, is the hype and the effective marketing, using that as a single tool, because that's one major element upon which he was sold to the Nigerian public. And it must be used effectively. Let it not be lost. The president has the will, but those who have the duty to provide the means of translating that will to something that is sustainable and that will lead to results that everybody will see must do their job. Okay. And the only way to drive the process is to be scientific in our thinking. Whatever strategy that is not rooted in science and technology will fail.
All right, let's ask Mr. Akande, if you can just give us an insight into what strategies that the government has put in place, that the administration has put in place, beside the fact that the president is the leader and he's driving the system. We have the legal institutions that are already running, the anti-graft agencies that are going about looking for these ones who have gone contrary to the laws of the land and have hurt the nation. What are the strategies, if you can highlight them, would you say have been put in place to tackle this menace?
Yeah, and that I was speaking about moral, because the data that you have, there is so much corruption as we have experienced in this country, is that moral authority is lost, is misplaced, and every facet of society becomes engulfed in that moral crisis. And that is why this government has a comprehensive approach. We're not just looking at the legal dimension. If you look at the composition, for instance, of the Presidential Advisory Committee on Anti-Corruption, you will discover that it's not only made up of lawyers. We have people from several other strata of society. We have academics, we have people in the NGO, and so government has a comprehensive approach. Now, but the truth of the matter is that you have to start from somewhere. It's not possible to do everything all at once. Now, the urgent situation right now is that we have to stop impunity. There has been a lot of impunity. It is almost becoming the norm that people go into government and then they go and steal because of impunity. And so we have to deal with the problem that corruption has produced over the years. We have to deal with the fact that corruption itself has become an institutionalized thing in this country. And so that is why you see more of the approach in the area of the judiciary area, the legal area. Now, but I also wanted to make a point about the issue of whether people are being shielded or not. Now, the president has made it clear over and over again that in this fight against corruption, no friend, no foe. And what again he's doing by that is that he's sending a message to everyone in the society, everyone in the country, that if you break the laws, if you are found corrupt, you will have to deal with the consequences. Let me give you a very interesting instance that we have not paid a lot of attention to. In the Yobe State Gubernatorial Petitions Tribunal, there's an APC governor, his election is being challenged, and for the first time, according to the lawyers, for the first time, EFCC was asked, by the contending lawyer, to provide evidence against the sitting governor, which is APC. The lawyers themselves said, and they have said this publicly, that it is the first time that the presidency or the federal government is not restraining EFCC from doing that kind of a thing.
Are you implying that
this government is not going to tolerate corruption wherever it is coming from?
Are you implying that at certain times the presidency restrains the EFCC?
I'm saying that the lawyers who have been dealing with this case are saying that this is the first time in the country that that EFCC is not restrained as it was in the past, according to the lawyers. It's not restrained from giving evidence, even against a sitting governor, an APC governor for that matter. It's the lawyer that said it.
Okay.
So that is just to prove to you that when we are talking about the fact that this is going to be an all-encompassing war, as the president has said, he really means business. I'm telling you what the lawyers themselves have said in the public domain to show that the president is committed to a free process that has no friend or foe.
Okay, Mr. Akonde, can that free process also be applied to, we've heard a lot about the Dasuki Gate, where we hear that he was allegedly giving out monies for campaigns and all of that, monies that are supposed to be used for procuring arms. Now, some people have said that the APC campaign, the 2015 campaign, also should be probed. What do you think about that?
Well, I mean, it's up to the people who have the duty to do that, and that's the point that I'm making. That the president has made it clear that whoever is found wanting, we have to face the consequence. Whatever, wherever, at any time, depending on those who have to take that decision, there will be no protection. The president has said that there will be no favor, there will be no fear in the conduct of this fight. And he has made that abundantly clear. So don't let us try to spin the issues. Now, some of the people who make this argument are just trying to delay the issue, to bifurcate the issue, to try and find a way to basically fight back in a very illegitimate way.
You see it as fighting back? You don't see it as something that should normally follow, the process. If we are looking at the PDP, for instance, how their campaign was funded, allegedly through the former NSA, don't you think the APC should also go that way, like the president also ordering this?
Well, that's the point that I make, that the president has already made it clear, that whoever is found wanting, there will be no protection. And so if that develops, the president has made it clear that he's not going to protect anybody. And I'm saying that the other way to look at it is that the people who throw out this kind of arguments, they are only trying to delay the process. They are only trying to change the narrative. They are only trying to find a way to confuse the issues. The president has said it very clearly. And I'll just give you an example of an APC state, where the sitting governor, the EFCC had to give evidence against him because the lawyers asked for it. And the lawyer said this is the first time this is happening. So the president is not going to protect anybody. Anybody who is found wanting, we have to have their day in court.
All right. Mr. Suraj, you've been itching to say something.
I think that was a very valid question, that you asked, and that is also the question that is already going out there. It's very important that when we do this whole fight against corruption, it must be total, and there must not be sacred cow. Where I agree with Professor Owasonye is to the extent that every other members of the society and stakeholders have roles to play, and that is very crucial. Let us not deceive ourselves. There's no government that is fighting corruption for the interest of the people. There's always a common interest within the political class and the ruling elite. So the question here is, how far do we want to stem and stop corruption as Nigerians? So it's very crucial and important. But I would want to also change the narrative and argument so that we don't assist those accused in actually fighting back against the crusade against corruption. The whole investigation on Dasuki is not investigating the funding of PDP campaign. Let's get that clear and straight. It was Dasuki's office as a national security advisor. It was not a ministry. Was not having portfolio where monies for whatever should be assigned. What is being investigated was diversion of fund and the misappropriation of fund. It behoves on every one of us, without just reducing the argument to just mere political campaign and jumping into the fray without standing outside and being able to rein in both the ruling party and the opposition, because this is where we come in. Ours is to ensure that the ruling party does not, to the detriment of Nigerians, and now not just the opposition, detriment of Nigeria, face only the opposition.